An unexpected surge of winter weather swept across Ontario, transforming autumn landscapes into frozen terrain in only a few hours. Heavy snow, strong winds, and a sudden drop in temperature caught millions off guard. Streets that were filled with golden leaves the day before turned white overnight. The Meteorological Service of Canada issued warnings for heavy snow and urged residents to avoid unnecessary travel. The storm moved quickly through the province, striking first in Toronto before spreading south and east. Within just a few hours, more than 10 inches of snow blanketed roads and rooftops. Gusts of wind drove snow into thick drifts, covering parked cars and reducing visibility to only a few meters. Drivers who had not yet switched to winter tires struggled to keep control as roads turned slick. Traffic slowed to a crawl, and emergency dispatchers received a flood of reports about minor collisions. In the Greater Toronto area, the scene resembled the middle of January rather than early November. Snow continued to accumulate through the morning, burying neighborhoods under a dense layer of white. Crews worked to keep major highways open, but side streets remained covered well into the day. By noon, snowplows lined the expressways, their orange lights cutting through the gray air. Pedestrians faced their own challenges. Sidewalks became sheets of ice, and every step required caution. Residents began clearing driveways and front walks early in the morning, pushing heavy, wet snow into piles that quickly refroze. Hardware stores reported a sudden rush for snow shovels, salt bags, and brushes. Many households realized that winter had arrived before they had time to prepare. For older residents, the physical strain of removing thick snow created additional worry about safety and health. Across southern Ontario, public transportation slowed dramatically. Buses crawled along icy lanes and streetcars moved at reduced speeds. Commuters waited longer in the cold as transit schedules slipped behind. City road crews were dispatched earlier than expected this season, working overnight to clear main routes. Snowplows and salt trucks focused on highways, first leaving residential areas until later in the day. Airport workers labored to de-ice aircraft and sweep runways clear. Although major cancellations were avoided, numerous flights were delayed. Conditions worsened as lake-effect snow developed over Lake Huron and Georgian Bay. These narrow but intense bands of snow swept inland without warning, cutting visibility to near zero. Drivers crossing from clear roads into these zones encountered sudden walls of blowing snow. Travel became unpredictable and dangerous. The Ontario Provincial Police warned motorists to slow down and avoid long-distance trips until the squalls passed. Even after the main system moved east, cold air continued to pour into the region. Temperatures dropped to freezing and remained there, preventing any melting. Wind chills made it feel even colder, signaling that winter had arrived weeks ahead of schedule. For many residents, the change felt abrupt as the typical gradual shift from fall to winter never came. The early storm served as a stark reminder of how quickly weather in Canada can turn severe. By evening, the province was still digging out. Power outages affected some neighborhoods where tree branches snapped under the weight of the snow. Local businesses closed early, and schools announced delays for the following morning. Snowbanks lined the streets and traffic lights glowed faintly through the falling flakes. The hum of snowplows replaced the usual sounds of the city. Emergency services reported more than 100 minor collisions in a single day. Tow trucks worked continuously to remove stranded vehicles. In rural areas, farms and small communities near Lake Simcoe and Georgian Bay faced deeper snow and limited access to main roads. Fire stations opened temporary warming centers for residents without power. Authorities urged communities to check on elderly neighbors and those living alone. The storm also disrupted economic activity. Delivery trucks were delayed, postal routes suspended, and holiday events canceled. Retail stores saw a drop in customers as people stayed home. The early arrival of winter forced many towns to activate snow removal budgets weeks earlier than planned. As night fell, flurries continued under a pale sky. The cold air held steady, ensuring that snow would remain for days. Meteorologists warned that additional lake-effect snow could persist through the night, particularly near the Great Lakes. Residents were advised to allow extra time for travel, keep emergency kits in their cars, and stay updated on weather alerts. Although the storm has passed, Ontario remains under the grip of early winter. Roads are still slippery and sidewalks gleam with a thin layer of ice. The combination of lingering snow and freezing temperatures means the risk of accidents continues. Officials reminded drivers not to underestimate post-storm hazards. Winter has made its presence known early this year. The sudden shift from mild autumn to deep freeze has left Ontario facing long weeks of cold ahead. As snowbanks harden and winds keep blowing from the north, the province begins adjusting to a season that arrived far sooner than expected.